Good morning, and welcome to the Steve Jobs Theater. As you can tell, today's going to be a very different kind of event. So let's get started with Apple News. We're bringing magazines to Apple News. All of these magazines come to life in an all-new service that we call Apple News Plus.
Apple News Plus will bring you over 3,000 magazines across 300 magazines across all sorts of topics, like entertainment, fashion, news and politics. We've got great health magazines and great lifestyle magazines. We've got magazines for travelers, magazines for foodies, magazines for gearheads.
So we created the live cover. Check this one out from National Geographic. When I tap on a cover, I'm taken to the table of contents, where I can see all the articles in the issue. I can jump to whichever one I'm interested in, like this. And here I land in a National Geographic article, beautifully designed. And to get more, I can just tap on the table of contents, or I can browse the issue by simply swiping from article to article, like this. But the place to explore all magazines is the News Plus tab. Here, we wanted to design a home dedicated to everything about enjoying magazines. I'll also see suggestions, like popular science here, based on my interests. And recent issues are automatically downloaded, so I'll already have them before I board a flight. Now, everything here is curated by the Apple News editors and personalized, which makes it really easy to discover a great article or explore a topic. Now, along with the cover, I can see a few articles from the issue, which makes it really easy to browse. Now, I'm going to tap on this cover story because I'm a big fan of her show, Insecure. I'm going to open up the same article on the iPad. And as you can see, the article looks fantastic here too, and nicely adapted to the larger size. Now, if I'm looking for something specific or just wanting to browse, I can navigate to the full breadth of the catalog by just tapping here at the top. And here, I have hundreds and hundreds of magazines. I can find my sports, my music, my travel. I can find the entire newsstand that Tim referred to right here on my iPad.
Apple News Plus also includes some of the most popular premium digital subscriptions, like the Skim. Apple News Plus also includes the country's largest metropolitan newspaper and a rising star, the LA Times. And I'm super proud to announce that Apple News Plus also includes one of the world's top newspapers, the Wall Street Journal. We don't allow advertisers to track you. But with Apple News Plus, you pay $9.99 per month. We decided to make this available to your entire family with family sharing at no extra charge. Apple News Plus is available today. Just download today's updates of iOS and macOS and launch Apple News. And the first month is free. We're also bringing Apple News and Apple News Plus to Canada, in both English and in French. And we're adding over 30 great Canadian magazines to Apple News Plus, along with the top newspaper in Canada, The Star.
We are working with some of the most creative game developers in the world on a new kind of service designed specifically for games like these. A service that is giving them the freedom to do the best work of their lives. We call it Apple Arcade. With a single subscription, you'll get access to over 100 new and exclusive games that will raise the bar for what's possible in gaming. Apple Arcade will be a new area right on the App Store, with its own dedicated tab. Rather than pay upfront for each game, your subscription will allow you to download and play any Apple Arcade game from the App Store. You'll be able to play Apple Arcade games across iPhone, iPad, Mac, and Apple TV, and pick up where you left off in a game, even if you switch devices. And unlike streaming services, every game will be playable offline. So you can play anywhere, regardless of your internet connection. There will be no ads and no additional purchases needed. Apple Arcade will be available this fall.
Apple TV Plus.
My first encounter with science fiction came from an anthology magazine called Amazing Stories. And thanks to the visionary and inventive folks here at Apple, my Amblin team and I are going to be resurrecting this 93-year-old brand and offering to multi-generational audiences a whole new batch of amazing stories, like the World War II pilot whose plane magically travels through space and time from the past and into the present day.
Reese and I are so proud to be a part of this exciting launch with Apple, officially announcing our new project, The Morning Show.
So in The Morning Show, we pull back the curtain on the power dynamics between men and women in the high-stakes world of morning news shows. It's a real insider's view into the lives of the people who help America wake up every day.
Steve, we have to tell you, we're so thrilled that you're a part of the show because, honestly, you can't have an honest look at complex relationships between men and women with just women.
Well, I am just happy to provide the manliness.
Steve, why don't you say something about your character? He's very bold and very dynamic.
Yes, but even more importantly, Jen, he's bold and dynamic. He has a lot of gravitas. He's a great listener.
Yeah.
He's also relatable and extremely handsome.
Yes.
From the unfettered imagination of Stephen Knight, C takes place in a world in which the Earth was devastated by a virus that left only a few million survivors. And those survivors, each and every one of them, emerged blind. Our story begins centuries later, at which point the human race has existed for so long without sight, it's disputed whether such a thing ever existed.
I grew up in Karachi, Pakistan. Okay. When people defend immigration, they focus on the exceptionality of immigrants. Albert Einstein was an immigrant. Joseph Pulitzer was an immigrant. While those stories are inspiring and valuable, we wanted to focus on the immigrants doing everyday life stuff. Little America is an anthology series inspired by the true stories of immigrants in the US. Like the emotional story of a young Indian boy living in Utah whose parents achieved the American dream of running their own motel until they were suddenly deported. 12-year-old Kunal wasn't going to let his parents' dream die, so this young boy secretly ran the motel for the next 10 years on his own while simultaneously plotting his quest to get his parents back to the US. Okay, true story. He competed in the National Spelling Bee so that he could meet First Lady Laura Bush and ask for help. And he came in 13th, and he actually got to meet her. He did.
The peeps at Sesame Workshop and Apple have teamed up to make an incredible new preschool show starring me. It's called Helpsters.
Oh.
Yeah, my Helpster friends and I just love to help anyone with any problem, no matter how large or small. From making instruments for a band to teaching a friend how to fly their first kite. And you know how we do it?
How?
We use the big ideas behind coding to solve problems.
You don't say.
I do say. Coding fosters collaboration, critical thinking skills, and is an essential language that every child can learn. By teaching preschoolers about coding, we're giving them the opportunity to change the world.
A couple years ago, I ran into JJ, and we talked about my experiences as a singer-songwriter, the struggles, the drama, the insanity, and he asked if I had ever thought about creating a series about that world. So this was the beginning of our new series, Little Voice, a funny, romantic show about the reality of what is hard and wonderful and transformative about being a young woman who has to ultimately find her voice as an artist, but also as a person through music. The main character is a promising, flawed young woman, a musician living in New York, in and around a vibrant community of young, hopeful artists, family and friends, soulmates and bandmates, learning to find herself and her own true voice.
Anyone who's ever given everything they have to go after a dream will feel like this show was written for them. And how lucky for the series that Sarah's not just a creator and producer, but also composer.
The theme song says it all.
It's just a little voice, and if you're listening, sometimes a little voice can say the biggest things. It's just my little voice that I've been missing. Looking over the precious moments, it hurts, don't it? They can cut both ways. So my savior of self-defense taught me to sing what I can't say.
The original shows and movies will intellectually challenge and thrill, define and redefine our expectations, inspire us, make us laugh, transform our mood, and brighten our day. They'll make us believe anything is possible. From documentaries to dramas, from kids to comedies, the highest quality of storytelling in one single place.
Stand by 3. Stand by 1. Make your move.
7.
Ready?
6.
Yeah, I'm ready.
5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
Apple TV Plus is an ad-free subscription service. It's on demand, available online and offline. Everything's downloadable. The best in entertainment with exclusive original movies and shows with new additions every single month. It's available in 100+ countries. It's a global service. And it's all starting this fall.
I have joined forces with Apple. So I have 2 documentaries in the works right now, one exploring the toll of sexual harassment, assault, and violation in the workplace. The working title is Toxic Labor. The other, yet unnamed, multi-part series focuses on mental health and how this scourge of depression and anxiety, post-traumatic stress, addiction, trauma, and loss is just devastating lives daily across the globe. For what I love the most, for me, there's nothing more thrilling than being transported by a brilliant book. Nothing. And the only thing actually more gratifying than an extraordinary read is being able to share that experience with others. And we're going to do just that by building the biggest, the most vibrant, the most stimulating book club on the planet. And my deepest hope is that we all, humans, get to become the fullest version of ourselves as human beings, to join in the mission and vision for our common good, to leave this world more enlightened, kinder, and better than we found it, and to move together 1 billion plus strong into a future of our own design, all connected through Apple! Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.